Hi, my name is Mackenzie Dana, and this is my formal video introduction and addition to my application for Ivory Anesthesia for the dental anesthesia receptionist position. I understand this job is completely remote, and so I just wanted to come in and discuss some of the concerns and questions that you had laid forward in your key responsibilities on the job description. So, firstly, you wanted to know why I feel that I would be a good fit for this position. Firstly, I would like to say that I have amazing and professional phone etiquette. I have been working on the phones for over 6 years. I started working face to face customer service, which is a challenge all in itself. And then I easily transitioned over to customer service, working at a small credit union, and worked my way out of customer service from there. Never completely removing myself from a service industry. I've always had to deal with either clients or customers or consumers or members over the phone and handled their issues. So that's never been an issue for me. I think that I would be an excellent fit for that reason. I also have an extensive experience with Microsoft Office and have no problems with scheduling meetings, face to face, or even over the phone communication. I have excellent Microsoft Office skills. I am also very comfortable in a work from home setting. I worked from home briefly in the pandemic for an IT company. It was IT help desk, so I was taking phone calls over that point in the pandemic as well. And I've been really looking to go back into the remote field ever since then. I just feel that it is such a good and comfortable way to grow yourself in a place that is familiar where you do your best work. Um, and that kind of leads us into the second question. You wanted to know why I wanted to work from home and what my biggest challenge would be. And as I said, I feel that I truly thrive in an environment that is my own. This background here is just my living room. This is just where I do all of my casual schoolwork. I am a full time student as well as a full time employee. So this is just where I do all of my casual schoolwork, but I do already have a home office that is ready to go. I am really looking for a position that allows me to thrive in an environment where I am comfortable and that I know I can do good work. Um, the biggest challenge that I feel comes with working from home is the lack of visibility that I would have with the employer. I am a person who does like to be recognized. I like to work closely with the people who I work with. And so my biggest concern is how close the relationship is between me and my other coworkers, or how close mm, maybe my supervisors rather than coworkers, just other people around, and how I would communicate any issues or anything like that. Just the lack of visibility would be my biggest challenge and concern, but nothing that I haven't worked through before. And as long as there is a good team and some communication, it's nothing that I couldn't overcome. Thirdly, oh, thirdly, you asked about a mistake that I had made and how I handled it and how the mistake was corrected. So formally, I worked as an accountant for a debt collection law firm. Mistakes happen daily in accounting. And before that, I worked as an item processing supervisor, where in both of these roles, it was my job, it was my role to check my own mistakes and also check the work of others to ensure that there weren't any mistakes being made. And if there were, they were being corrected in a timely manner. But when I had first started at the law firm, it was my first full time accounting position. I had only worked part time accounting at a credit union, and my job was to initiate remittance payments to our clients. And I had accidentally initiated a payment that was less than our full payment amount to a specific client. And it was just a mishap. I had read the report wrong. I accidentally took the amount of some of our clients wanted us to withhold fees, some of ours didn't, and I took the amount of withheld fees, but this was a specific client that did not want us to withhold fees. So I went to my supervisor and informed her that I received an email from the client stating that we did not send them enough for their payment. She then walked me through the reports, showed me that client setup in our system and why they were not being withheld fees and how they would refund us at a later time. And she instructed me to just initiate the difference of the payment. And what that really taught me is that in accounting and any other work, double and triple checking your work is crucial for any success. Just double checking yourself before you even initiate is just one of the easiest ways that you can avoid making a mistake. Let's see. Your next question was describe a conflict with a coworker where I didn't handle well at first and what I would do differently now. Um, it's a difficult question. It's a very good question. I feel I do very well in conflict. I'm a very understanding person. But when I was working at the credit union, my job was to facilitate and manage all payments and all transactions for all of our members. That was my role. And I had a coworker who was coming to me during office hours to ask about a payment for her account while I was also in the middle of doing, my day-to-day routine. So she was asking me to step outside of my daily routine to check on her account rather, just, and I could have handled it better with my communication. I told her, at first, I didn't respond to her. I continued doing my daily work as instructed, as I'm supposed to. I continued doing my daily work, and then she got even more upset with me for not responding to her at first. I think that that is one of my biggest mistakes. I could have responded to her and told her that I would, um, look at her transaction and look at her account once I was finished doing my daily postings for the morning. But instead of that, I choose to not respond at first. Initially, I did ultimately respond when I was finished, but she had already come over to my office at that point and expressed that she was upset that I had not responded to her message. So yeah, I would just, how I corrected that and how I moved forward doing that was that I just, was ample with my responses and was not afraid to tell someone, okay, I'll get to this in a moment, which was something that I was very nervous to do. I was nervous to tell someone no, especially because she was not my supervisor, but she was a higher up in the company than me. So I was nervous to tell her no. So that really taught me just, being upfront and being friendly and telling her that I could have looked at her account in a few moments when I was finished instead of ignoring it. That was definitely a big learning opportunity for me. And then your last question is describe a situation where you dealt with someone who was difficult or distressed. What specific actions did you take and what were the results? Like I said, I've worked in customer service many times. Even going back to my first job, I was a manager at McDonald's. Um, I worked my way up to management, and I was only 17 years old as a manager of this fast food restaurant, and it was a very, very busy restaurant. So one night, I remember this gentleman coming in, and he was already very angry. People get very hangry when it comes to their food, but this gentleman, was already very angry, and he came in and he threw his sandwich across the restaurant, across the dining room, and was yelling and screaming at the person on the counter and asking for a manager. And when I came up, he told me that he didn't want to speak to me because he wanted the manager, and I, of course, looked very young, even though I was wearing the proper attire for the manager. He didn't believe that I was the manager. And working at a fast food restaurant, the resolutions were often very easy. You would either replace or offer a refund for their meal. Um, and that isn't what I ended up doing. I replaced his meal. He was upset that there was onions on his burger or something like that. It wasn't made right. And I ended up replacing it and talking to him and just, saying everyone who works here is very young. This is their first job and you have to be more understanding. We're very sorry that we messed up your order, but we can make it right now. We're going to remake it right now. And by the end of the interaction, he was a lot less irate, but I can think of endless, even working customer service, working at the credit union. Many times people would call in and be upset that we couldn't discuss their deceased family members' account information with them, or certain things like that, where, just going through and reading your policies and making sure that you are adhering to the policies and procedures that the company has set forward to you, then you know that you have backup within your company, and also just trying to do your best by the person in front of you. Um, but yeah, that looks like that is all of the questions that you had set up. So I'm going to go ahead, upload this, and thank you so much for your time and consideration for the position. Again, my name is Mackenzie Dana, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.